Award-winning journalist Tina Brown is getting ready this morning for her 6th annual Women in the World Summit. This week's conference brings familiar names and voices of change, tackling everything from education to equal rights. I'm honored to be one of the moderators. Tina, welcome back to Studio 57.
Good morning.
Good morning. 6th annual, wow.
I know, girl power.
Yeah.
It's that week.
You know, it really is an incredible collection of leaders from around the world. What are you hoping to accomplish with this summit?
It's really about providing role models, new ones, different ones that you may not have heard of before, from Africa, India, Egypt, and at the same time, bringing together women you do know as role models to help shine their spotlight on the ones you don't know. So it's a wonderful connection of women to admire, to be inspired by, to be awed by very often.
I was telling Nora before you came out here, you know, she's doing something about India and rape, which is a
women
great
like
thing.
yourself, Nora.
Yeah, exactly. And then you asked me to do something, but it was about women looking for their children.
In Syria.
In Syria, who might have joined ISIS. I mean, it is what this conference does more than anyone I know. It showcases really people doing heroic things with all the fanfare of media attention. Absolutely.
We have one woman coming. She's the most wanted woman in Iraq by ISIS, because this is a Yazidi MP who's trying to fight for the rights of her people in Iraq, who are women who are being enslaved by ISIS, sexually trafficked by ISIS, brutalized by ISIS. So brave, she risks her life every day. She's the kind of woman who's joining us. So we look at them and think, how can they do these things, you know, in these far-flung places? We never hear about them, and yet it's wonderful to be able to bring them to the stage and give them voice and have them celebrated in the way they should be.
Yeah.
One of the women who's attending your conference here is a woman who's running for president.
Yes, indeed.
For the second time,
Hillary Rodham Clinton. She has been every year, which has been really so great.
And she's been in the news just a decent amount over the past...
She's certainly not a woman hiding her light under a bushel, let's put it that way.
Few weeks here. Republican candidate Rand Paul heavily criticizing the Clinton Foundation this morning for accepting these donations from some countries which have terrible records on women's rights. Should they return that money?
Look, the foundation is the foundation, and, you know, they're going to have to sort whatever it is they do out. I mean, this woman is, you know, running for president now. We'll see how she handles all of this, but she's, you know, it's her second time. I do think she is ready for this time, and there's a lot of energy there.
How long does this story go for? Do you think it's a big issue for the campaign? Do you think it will continue to be an issue?
You never know in a campaign. I mean, every campaign is an explosion of happenstance and see what happens. I do think that it's a very long time before, you know, the actual election, and who knows what kind of things are going to blow up. But I also think that there's a lot to focus on that she's done that is powerful and connective, and people really like her. Many, many people do, as well as those who don't. So we'll see how she handles it.
But you're an acute observer of the political scene. Do you think she needs a primary challenger? Do you think that, you know, I mean...
Well, I would like to see her with a challenger, only because I think it helps to keep the attention off her, in a sense. I mean, I think it's a very difficult thing for Hillary to have the press attention this long. You know, to sustain that interest, the press get bored. The only thing to look for is holes. So I think it's actually quite good to have a challenger. But there are others who say that a challenger would simply just weaken her hold on the actual election.
How long ago was it when you were editor of The Tatler?
It was, oh my God, it was 1980.
1980.
Yes, you can add it up. That's for you to do. That's a trick question.
1980 would be 33 years.
It was, absolutely. I was 25 years old.
Or 35.
That's right.
Or 35.
I was 25.
So now you're going to write your memoir.
I am.
A tell-all memoir from Tina.
Well, you know what's great is that I kept a diary through so much of it.
Did you really? Wow.
And it's pretty fascinating to read the real-time, you know, when you first meet, you know, the young Malcolm Gladwell, or the young, you know...
the young Harry Evans.
The young Harry Evans, well, the old Harry Evans, too.
Your husband,
It's pretty interesting to read things in real time, and the people who suddenly become famous later and so on. So it's pretty fascinating to read.
And when does it come out?
Well, I think the Women in the World has somewhat held up its progress, but it's you know, when it's ready, let's put it that way. I bet everyone at this table has a book that's going to be done when it's ready.
That's right.
I can't wait for Charlie's.
Yeah, nor can I. That's the one I'm looking for, Charlie.
Right.
You're in mine, A Surprising Man.
Oh,
yes.
Nice. Because I've played a pivotal role at certain moments in your life.
Yeah, because I'm always watching you, Charlie. So I'm always like, just watch Charlie Rose.
That's a tease.
Thank you.
What's the royal baby name?
oh my God, who knows? Princess, you know, Beyonce.
Alice.
It'll be something deeply traditional.
George's sister.
Yeah.
George's sister, yes.
You think it's a girl?
Hopefully she'll be known in her own right, not just as
Maybe
an appendage
Elizabeth,
to
Princess
George.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we had one. I'm sure there's going to be a desire to honor
George's sister.
Elizabeth or Alice, maybe.
I love Alice. I think it'll be Elizabeth Alice. How's that?
There you go.
No.
Thank you, Tina Brown.
Thank you. And I'll see you next week.
Yes.
You're moderating a fantastic panel on India.
Thank you
it's going to be
so
dynamite.
much. Thank you. The Women in the World Summit begins Wednesday. You can learn more by going to cbsthismorning.com.